Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another presentation, our last presentation as a part of the virtual High Peaks Festival, which is brought to you by Close Encounters with Music. My name is Carolyn Regula, and I will be your host today. All of our festivals, presentations, master classes, they are all archived on the Close Encounters with Music YouTube channel. And this presentation is also being streamed in live time on YouTube as well. So be sure to check out that channel and subscribe so you can see everything we've been doing throughout these past 2 weeks. During this time, we have braved the unknown and come out of this adventure with a new community, more insight, more skills, and more preparation for our chosen profession, the making of music. We are so grateful to everyone who has been with us as a participant, a faculty member, and as a viewer. We're looking forward to being together in person next summer on the beautiful campus of the Berkshire School. We plan to have faculty and student reunion concerts in the fall. And also, we wanted to take this chance to remind everyone that our artistic director, Yehuda Hanani, and guitarist Elliot Fisk are live streaming a concert from the Mawahi Theater in Great Barrington this Sunday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via Facebook. So if you want to check out that live streamed concert, I will be putting it in the group chat window. And you can use this chat window to communicate amongst yourselves during the course of our masterclass. If you have any questions at all during the masterclass, please use the Q&A window at the bottom of your screen. I will be monitoring that window and relaying questions to our guests today. We're so grateful to have all of you joining us. This is our last presentation to close out the festival, and it really has been a great representation of how music and the arts are undefeated and still persevering during this troubling time we're in. So we're grateful for all of you in joining us virtually, and we really hope this brought you some solace during this time when we're all home. Now, we're going to brighten the mood with some amazing vocal material. We have 4 of our participants performing today, and I did a sound check, and you guys are in for a real treat this morning. So before we get to the music, I am honored to introduce our faculty who are joining us today. We have vocal faculty, Kerry Wilkerson and Danielle Talamantes, and then for our acting and stage presence coach, we have Jay Lesenger. Thank you all so much. And I will turn it over to Jay, Danielle, and Kerry.
Hey, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, Danielle and Kerry. Good to see you again virtually. Likewise. I hope we'll get to do this in person very, very soon. I hope many of you who are watching got a chance to watch the class that I did last week, because I did about a half-hour introduction about the different questions I think singers should ask themselves as they're preparing roles. And I do believe that those questions are good also, obviously, as you're preparing material for auditions. I don't think there's much difference between performing an aria in an audition and performing it in a performance. I think you perform it, period. No matter what the audition circumstances are, ultimately what the auditors are looking for is a performance from you. And if you keep kind of switching it around based upon the different people who you're singing for or the different locations, you tend not to do what you want to do as an artist. I don't know, Danielle and Kerry, do you want to say anything as we're starting, or? Right. I should have asked you that before we started. Huh?
I left my speech upstairs.
Our brains are a little fried at this point. But
no, it's been an incredible couple of weeks, and you know what you had to say last week was so insightful. So yeah, please go back and watch that, and we're gonna watch it. We were there, and it was very.
Well, if people missed it, it is out on YouTube. I'm glad to say it's back on YouTube. And anyway, so Madeline, I know you're working on Una Voce Poco Fa. This is Madeline Maneker. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Yes.
And where are you? You're in your basement somewhere. Where are you located?
Welcome to my basement in Alexandria, Virginia. So just
great. Okay, good. And you have obviously you have the music we recorded.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Why don't you do the aria and then we'll talk about it.
All right. So
Tell us what the aria is and maybe just a little bit about what's going on when you sing the aria.
Hello, everyone. My name is Madeline Maneker. I will be performing Una Voce Poco Fa, which is Rosina's aria from Rossini's Il Barbiere di Siviglia. And at this point in the aria, it's fairly early on. Rosina has heard the voice of Lindoro, a student, Count Almaviva disguised as a student, who's trying to woo her, and she has fallen in love. But there's a catch. She is a ward of Bartolo, and he wants to marry her for her money, but she decides that that is not the plan, and she devises her own plan. So she will trick and get her way so she can have Lindoro. Just a special shout out to Jane Kay. She's the pianist who recorded this track. It was quite a feat to do this aria pre-recorded, but she did a wonderful job. So here we go. Una voce poco fa qui nel cor mi risuonò, il mio cor ferito è già, il indoro fu chi piagò, sì l'indoro mio sarà, lo giurai, la vincerò. Sì, l'indoro mio sarà, lo giurai, la vincerò. Il tutore userò, io l'ingegno aguzerò, alla finza chiederò, e contenta resterò. Sì, l'indoro mio sarà, lo giurai, la vincerò. Sì, l'indoro mio sarà, io sogno dolce, son rispettosa, son ubbidiente, dolce amorosa, mi lascio leggere, mi fa guidar, ma se mi toccano tolvi il mio debole, sarò una vivera, sarò eccetto troppo prima di cedere, farò giocare, e cento trappole prima di cedere, farò giocare, e cento trappole prima di cedere, e cento trapani faro, faro, giocar. Io sono dolce, sono obbediente, mi lascio reggere, mi fa guidare. Ma se mi toccano dove il mio debole, sarò una vipera, sarò. E cento trappoli prima di cedere, farò giocare. E cento trappoli prima di cedere, farò giocare. E cento trappoli prima di cedere, e cento trappoli faro, faro, giocare. E cento trappoli farò giocare, e cento trappoli farò giocare, farò giocare.
Okay, good, 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 good. Boy, that's not easy to do to a tape. That's a pre-recorded. That is a piece that really needs a lot of communication between the conductor and the singer, or the accompanist and the singer. So bravo for that. Good, good. And it's a nice sound. Good, good for you. You watched the class last week?
Yes.
I hope. Okay, good. So you know the questions I'm going to ask are, what's your objective? What's your obstacle? And how are you going to get over that obstacle? What is it you want? What's in the way? And what are you going to do to overcome that?
So I think Rosina wants two things. She wants love, and she also wants freedom.
Okay. Well, you learned your lesson. First thing, the answer always is love. Good. I'm glad you were paying attention. By the way, speak in terms of yourself, not of Rosina's being in the third person. What do you want? Because we want to make this very immediate. Okay. So she wants love, and what was the other thing she wants? You want
Freedom.
freedom. Okay. You want freedom. Good. And what is what's the obstacle to that?
The biggest obstacle for her is
For me
is my guardian, Bartolo, who wants to marry me for my money, and also the factor of society.
So now be careful, because when you're thinking about these objectives and obstacles, try and keep them really simple. I love the fact that freedom is your objective. Your obstacle is Bartolo, period. What everything that entails. He's got you trapped in this all white basement in Alexandria, Virginia, and you can't get out. Okay, right? There's just a little window there, and I don't think you can crawl out through that window. But you can hear Lindoro sing through that window. All right, so how are you going to overcome Bartolo?
I'm going to trick my way out of this.
Okay, good, good. Okay, now this aria is particularly interesting in that it is a little bit out of the drama of the piece. We're dealing with Rossini, we're dealing with the early 19th century, we're dealing with certain stylistic requirements, especially in comedies. This is the first thing the leading lady sings in the opera. And it's called an aria d'entrata, it's an entrance aria. And it's really where I think Rosina introduces herself, where you introduce yourself to the audience. I think this is the one place, well, not the only place in Barber, but one of the first places where that wall between the audience and the performer comes down. Now, the thing about Rosina is we do know some things about her. We know that she's feisty, and that she can be docile, she can be sweet, but if you cross her, you'll get what for, as it were, ma, you're gonna get it. But we don't, and this character, because it is based on a play that we're familiar with, that people were familiar in those days. You can go back and read The Barber of Seville as a play and get to know probably a bit more about her. But a lot of what Rosina's about is who's singing her. You know, there's the wonderful play called Masterclass. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Look for it. I bet you it's floating around somewhere on YouTube. It's a play about Maria Callas, about her giving a masterclass, and she works for 3 or 4 singers. It was the show, by the way, that really brought Audra McDonald to attention, because she was one of the singers in that. It's a terrific, terrific play based upon Callas's masterclasses. And at one point, she says to the singer, "If you don't have a personality, get one. Because if you don't have a personality, you can't sing this." Now, you have a personality, yeah, no doubt. I can see some of it, but I'm not seeing all of it yet. So I would suggest that your objective in this aria is to let the audience know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The obstacle is simply they don't know who you are. And how you're going to overcome that obstacle is by telling them. So I want you to I want you to treat the camera lens in your computer as that person in the audience, or the whole audience that you're singing to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What you did, I mean, you sing it well, you certainly practiced it well. But what I'm not getting much of you in it. I'm getting someone who studied this aria carefully and knows that her voice teacher and accompanist are watching, taking notes. And probably your mother. I assume your mother or father, somebody's upstairs watching as well. All your friends. No pressure here. But the fact is, I want to know who you are. Are you feisty?
A little bit.
Just a little bit?
Really?
Okay. Danielle, is she ever feisty in lessons?
No, but she has an incredible amount of tenacity, which I think Rosina does.
All right. Well, okay. I'll go for tenacity. All right. I assume you can be dulcile. You can be sweet.
Yes.
Right. And charming. Okay. But I need to see the other part. The other thing, the wonderful thing about performing is you get to be somebody you're not. So you may feel like, in your real life, you don't want to show that tenacity too much, or certainly that feistiness. We all have it in ourselves, but we learn over the years, maybe you don't show it all the time, because then everybody's just mad at you always, But the great thing about being in opera, especially in opera, is that you could play emotions that are far larger than we play most of the time in our lives. I hope, because if you play those emotions all the time, you'd be a mental wreck and you'd be exhausted. But you get to play Tosca. Well, you won't probably ever do Tosca, but you get to play roles like that, where you get to make love to the tenor and kill the baritone, and all that fun stuff. And then you take your makeup off, you go out and get a hamburger afterwards. So I want you to have fun showing that side of you. I want you to overcome that obstacle by letting us know exactly who you are. Okay. Now I'm going to try to talk to you while you're singing.
Okay.
I hope that will work. I just don't know. I know last time I tried that, people kept stopping to sing. I don't know if they couldn't hear me or because they thought they should stop. But if I want you to stop, I'll wave at you. But if I may try to talk to you just to help prompt you a little bit more as you're going along. Okay, let's see if that works.
Do you want me to start from the beginning?
Absolutely. Wait, turn off. Sorry. This always happens. The accompanist always are about to play the first chord and I stop them. The recitative for this is everything. If you get the recit right, the aria is a piece of cake.
Mm-hmm.
The recit, and truthfully, most recitatives, especially in Mozart, Rossini, the best recit writers, those recits are the foundation for the aria. If you don't have the recit right, you're never going to connect with the aria. Mm-hmm. So absolutely from the beginning.
Una voce poco fa qui nel cor.
Okay. All right. What just happened? You say una voce poco fa, which means what?
I heard a little voice.
Yeah. Where'd you hear the voice?
You heard it from her window. And
the window right behind you. See that window right behind you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a tenor out there singing for you. Okay. How do you feel about hearing that voice?
Wonderful. It
Just
inspired.
wonderful. What? And inspired?
Someone's in love with her and she jumps at it. I mean, she's never even met him, but someone's in love with me and
Okay, now just where you are, just without the music, just start singing.
ooh,
No, without the music. Ooh, ooh.
una voce poco fa.
I've been in love with this guy for 10 years. I
Pretend.
need somebody who's in love with this guy, like, oh my God.
She's infatuated.
No. She's not infatuated. She is in love.
Deeply. Una voce poco. No.
You are singing it like the aria. You're singing it like Costa Diva.
Mm.
I don't know. You won't know that aria because it's for a soprano, and very few sopranos can even sing that. But you're singing this. You're singing this like Valles Couler Melarn. I'm trying to think of mezzo arias. You're
I'm undecided currently, so.
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Well, this is great because this is Zwischenfach. This is for both mezzos and sopranos. Doesn't matter. You'll let me know in 10 years what you decide. But right now, let this be text driven. Let this be about the words. Don't worry about the music so much.
Okay.
Yeah, just start the rest. No worry about the accompaniment.
Una voce poco fa.
Okay, now the other thing is, because you recorded this, there's a tempo that has been set for you, which makes it a little harder. Forget about the recording. We'll deal with that when we play it again. But I think this. I'm not getting. Oh my gosh! Madeline, have you been in love?
Yes.
Okay. Now sing.
Una voce. No.
You're singing a legato aria for me, and I am not interested. This is a recitative. It is text driven. It is rhythm and text. It is not about lyricism, right?
Una voce poco fa, qui nel cor mi.
Okay, you're still telling me about it. This is hard. It's hard stuff. This is very different from the way you're used to doing it. But you're getting there. Where do you know that you're in love with him? What do you say?
She hears is when she says the voce. Hears. When I hear the voice. So for
Yes,
me,
but the next line is what?
qui nel cor, so the heart.
Okay, and that's okay. Let me know that. You can indicate that for now.
Una voce poco fa.
There you go.
Nel cor mi risuonò.
Tell us.
Il mio cor ferito è già, l'indoro fu che il piagò, sì, l'indoro mio sarà.
There you go.
Lo giurai.
Okay, good. Okay, it's much better. It's still removed. You're telling me about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to get excited because I'm asking you to get excited. There's more Rosine in you than that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to know any of the particulars, but you tell me you have been in love.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know what it's like that first couple of dates when you're with somebody, and there's that. I don't know. Is this the one? Right? Okay. You don't know. I mean, first of all, you've only seen him through a basement window on your front lawn with a bunch of men, playing instruments, But he's really cute, and he really has a great voice, and he's a tenor. What can you do?
I know. From the beginning or from where we left off?
Yep. One more time. You're starting to move it more, which is much better. You've got to move this.
Una voce poco fa, qui nel cor mi risuonò.
Tell me.
Il mio cor ferito è già.
Come closer.
L'indoro fu che il piagò.
He just kissed you.
mio Sara.
You sing the coloratura and you look sad. So you obviously didn't like it when he kissed you.
Gotcha.
Si lindoro mio Sara.
Si lindoro mio Sara.
Again, may I ask how old you are?
I'm 26.
You're 26. Okay, I need you at 16, please. Okay, you've been in love a few times. You've had experience. Maybe it didn't always work out. You know, you're experienced in the world of love. She's, I don't know, 15, 16, 17, whatever the first time is. It's never happened before. These are things you've never felt before. And I don't know, falling in love, and I'm no youngster, it is still pretty damn exciting.
I would agree. Sing that.
Yeah. Si lindoro.
Si lindoro mio Sara, lo giurai.
Go.
A vincerò.
Keep going. Go.
Lindoro mio Sara.
Don't worry. Do not worry about pitch right now. You keep checking your pitch. It's unbelievable. You know what key this is. If it goes off, I don't care. That's not important. It's not important.
Sounds good.
Let me hear that coloratura again, like you love it and you're excited and he just kissed you for the first time. At least that's what you're imagining.
Si lindoro mio Sara, lo giurai.
What is lo giurai?
Lo giurai? She's saying like, I swear I'm gonna be.
Okay. Yeah, but you see the gesture you just did when you told it to me in English? You went, I swear. And then when you sing it like, lo giurai. Lo giurai. I'm going to get what I want.
Si lindoro mio Sara, lo giurai.
There you go.
La vincerò.
Okay, now la vincerò is the same idea. It's not a new idea.
Right.
I swear I will win.
I'm doing it.
Come on.
Si lindoro mio Sara, lo giurai, la vincerò.
Madeline, that whole, when you say, it was Lindora la mia sarai, this whole section is the same thought. You have three different ideas here, but this is really one beat.
Oh,
Lindoro mia sarai, lo giurai, lo vincerò. It's one idea.
Okay. One idea.
Come on, I want to see that tenacity.
Lindoro mio Sara,
Go.
la vincerò.
Go.
Lindoro mio Sara, lo giurai.
See how sweet you get? You're saying lo giurai, I swear, and you're going, I swear I'm going to get him, maybe, as opposed to this is all one idea. By the way, when you sing it with that energy, your high note is right in pitch. Where the first time it was just a little bit under.
It's more centered.
It's more centered because you're behind it emotionally as well as vocally.
Right.
Okay.
Where we left off, or back to the color?
Si lindoro la mia sarai. First time.
Si lindoro mio Sara, lo giurai, la vincerò.
Are you sure?
Lindoro mio Sara, lo giurai, la vincerò.
Can you make that little cadenza about lo giurai? That should be the topper. That should be the biggest moment so far. Okay.
Where would you like me to?
Somewhere near the last phrase. Yeah, that's it. Sorry. That should be the most definite. I am going to get him. Okay.
Si l'intero mio sarà, lo giurai, la vinci.
That was a very nicely sung arpeggio,
So more
but
aggressive.
there was nothing behind it. It was a ba 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 ba. I got every note correct. I was right on pitch. Thank you very much. I can get my degree now and, go out in the world and be a star. No, it's got to be about something.
La vie. More aggressive.
More what?
Probably more aggressive.
Absolutely.
La vincero.
Okay, good. All right. Let's do this with your accompaniment again. Okay. The next section is Io sono dolce.
Mm-hmm.
Up to this point, there's nothing dolce about. There's nothing sweet about this. This is, all right, let me tell you who I am. And don't mess with me, fellas. Not my first time at the rodeo here. I have taken on problems. I've been putting up with Bartolo for years.
Right.
I am ready to move on.
Yes.
That's what the whole section is about. That's who I am. I can be nice, but don't mess with me.
Basically, yeah. Una voce poco fa qui nel cor mi risuonò, il mio cor ferito è già.
There you go.
Lindoro fu chi il piaccò. Sì, l'indoro mio sarà, lo giurai, la vincerò. Sì, l'indoro mio sarà, lo giurai, la vincerò. Il tutore userò, io l'insegno agguzzerò.
Good. All right. That's much, much better. And you notice how you were way ahead of your accompanist this time.
Yeah, I'll probably need to make a new track.
Yeah. Well, it's because you're more energized now.
Right.
As I said, you're not singing Casta Diva anymore. You're singing Rosina, which is better. Now, this next section, I'm not going to go on much more because I want to give everybody some time. But this next section, what do you think you're doing here?
This is for me where she starts to plot, because she knows I know what my obstacle is.
Right.
It's Bartolo, so she mentions so I mentioned Bartolo, and I'm realizing it's gonna be fine, but I gotta put on my A game and play a few, and then I really get into the tricks. But this is for me.
Let me suggest to you also that this is part of the artifice of the piece. That this is where you have to fill the audience in on the plot.
Right.
Well, the whole next section is about plot.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I've been putting up with.
This is my problem, my solution.
Exactly, and that's the energy I want. So let's just start with the B section of the recipe. Right to the audience. Come right to that camera.
Io l'insegno agguzzerò, alla finza chieterò, e contento.
Let's do this without the accompaniment because that's slowing you down.
Il tutore userò, io l'insegno agguzzerò, alla finza chieterò, e contenta io resterò. Sì, l'indoro mio sarà, lo giurai,
So you're gonna put in a little high note, which I love. There's a little cadenza, a little interpolation. You got to make it about something. This should be even stronger than the first time. Every time you say it, it's like I am going to get them.
Mm-hmm.
Every time. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Sì,
believe you yet.
Did that part
Tell
again?
me. Keep going. No, tell me on the high note.
Probably.
You got every note separated. That was lovely, but it wasn't what you were doing emotionally up to that point. You stopped to sing it pretty, as opposed to letting those notes be part of what you were trying to tell me. Let me suggest that can go a lot faster.
Okay.
That could end.
Faster. Do you want me to try it faster?
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. See what you get to those cadenzas and you slow up because you want to make sure that nobody will yell at you for not getting every note perfect. Okay. I said this last week. What I'm suggesting to you, what these two wonderful teachers you have are suggesting to you, all of the information we are all giving you is to give you a foundation for you then to take yourself and go somewhere with it. If everything is about, did I make Jay happy? Did I make Kerry happy? Did I make Danielle happy? Most importantly, did I make my mother happy? All of those things, if that's what it's about being correct, you won't work. No one's gonna care. Nobody wants to see the Thank God they agree with me. No, I mean, nobody wants to see the voice lesson.
Right.
Yeah, one more time the same phrase, and then we're gonna move on. So. Keep going. Move. Okay, good. Oh, it's a lot better. It's new territory for you, though.
Yes.
Very new territory for you.
I was a math major in undergrad, so I'm very.
Yes, I noticed. And so you want to be a singer? You don't want to do math? I don't understand.
They're a lot.
No, it's good. Two sides of the brain. It's great. Well, we do not want math on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Musicians mostly are very good instinctive mathematicians because of the whole nature, rhythm, and all of that. I find a lot of singers are very good at math, but that's again foundational work. That's how you learn. It's not how you perform. Yeah. So Kerry, Danielle.
Yeah, fantastic. And it takes such a long time to trust that you've done the work. I mean, that is such a process, and that you can just surrender then to the art. But that's a pretty big leap of faith that I think, the more encouraging we can get from people like you to just walk away from the mechanics of it and get into the character. And yeah, Madeline, he's saying go faster, but it's the energy, and you're still incredibly accurate. It's so much more exciting. It is so much more Rosina.
Mm-hmm.
You saw last week when I did the experiment with one of the singers about walking across the room.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? That whole thing that if you're trying to think about everything you do while you walk, you'll never get to the other side of the room because your conscious brain works so much slower than your subconscious brain. Mm-hmm. And singing ultimately has to become mostly subconscious. It's about muscle memory and all the stuff that you're learning. Now you're still in development and you're making a huge transition. You're not only you're trying to figure out your fa, but you're moving from the math world to the music world. These are momentous changes, But if you are thinking about the formula, as it were, you won't get to the the equals part.
Right.
You have to trust, and you have enough technique in place. You sing well. You have enough technique in place to to relax and have fun with the music and have fun with the intent, have fun with the energy.
Wonderful.
Okay, so good.
Thank you so much. This was really helpful.
Oh, good. No, my pleasure. I hope maybe we'll get to do it in person sometime.
That would be lovely.
Yeah. Thanks, Madeline.
Thank you.
Okay, our next singer is Lizzie Thomas. Hey, Lizzie. Okay. So now for completely different aria. Tell us a little bit. Where are you, by the way?
I'm in my apartment in Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Yeah, all these Virginians. Good. All right. And so tell us a little bit about this aria you're about to sing.
Well, it is from Purcell's opera Dido and Aeneas, and it is the final aria in the final act as Dido is dying, languishing over her love Aeneas going away because the spirits were plotting against Carthage and wanted to ruin her. So they took her boyfriend away and she died.
Mm-hmm. What does she die of?
Heartbreak.
And stubbornness too, by the way. We'll talk about that later. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Thy hand, Belinda, darkness shades me. On thy bosom let me rest. More I would, but death invades me. Death is now a welcome guest. When I am laid in earth, may my wrongs create no trouble in thy breast. When I am laid in earth, may my wrongs create no trouble in thy breast.
Very nicely done. Is your accompanist there with you, or was that on tape?
It was an accompaniment track.
Oh, okay. Well, you did very well with that. For a minute, I thought maybe there was somebody there. Good. Um, okay, so Lizzie, first of all, I think again, this is really well suited to you. It's a good showpiece for you. You know, I love this opera. It's a piece I learned fairly early on. I was introduced to it when I was in college. I mean, I've been listening to opera since I was 8 years old, but I didn't know anything about Purcell or this period until I got into college and had to do a paper on this opera. And it's an extraordinary piece. I mean, it's not very long. It's only 45, 50 minutes long. And this aria is extraordinary because on one level it feels so simple, and yet it's not easy to sing because of its simplicity. It's like Mozart. It's just so exposed, but also because of its profundity. It's so much larger than life. Dido is, you know, a queen. She has, you know, brought Carthage to its greatest glories at this point. Falls in love with Aeneas, but Aeneas is called away to battle. It's a trick played on her by both of them by the gods. But ultimately, and I think the key to Dido is that he offers to stay at one point, I think. And she said, no, go away. It's enough that you ever had a thought of even leaving. And she banishes him. You know, she could have probably fixed this if she wanted to, but she's so stubborn, and you are so, you know, your love for him has been damaged now, and can never be undamaged because of his instinct to leave you behind. You'll never trust him again, essentially, right? So again, objective and obstacle. What do you think you want in this aria?
What do I want? What do I want to convey, or
no, conveying something is an action perhaps, and you never want to do that because that's third person. It's like it already happened. Now let me tell you what happened. That's never interesting in the theater.
Right.
What is Dido? What do you want at this moment?
I want peace from the betrayal of him leaving, and I want to not necessarily show him that because he's already gone, but just I'm bad at articulating that.
What are the words you repeat over and over and over again in this aria?
But forget my fate.
Well, more importantly, remember me. You got to remember, this woman is a queen. She has a huge ego.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what the issues are with Aeneas, the most important thing to you is not to be forgotten for everything you've done.
Right.
So I would suggest your objective is, I don't want to be forgotten. Don't forget me. Okay. What is the obstacle to that?
Time.
Yes, that'll do it. You know, somehow we don't mention Dido in everyday conversation anymore. So obviously that didn't work. Well, what's the second part of remember me? You sing remember me, but what?
Forget my fate.
Forget my fate. Meaning what?
Like, don't remember me, but not what happened to me.
Don't remember my death. It's not about my death. It's about my life. It's about my life. Remember me as I was. Remember me at my strength, at my power. Don't remember that I was undone by a man. You know, and another tenor. Got to watch out for them in opera. You know, can't trust them. All right, and when you do trust them, they usually end up dead. So you know, one way or the other, you know, don't trust them. Okay, so you want to be remembered. Remember me. Forget my fate. That's an objective and an obstacle. How are you going to overcome your fear of being remembered for your death? How are you going to overcome being remembered for your fate?
That is a very interesting question that I can't necessarily.
Thank you. What do you think? Think about it.
Well, how do you overcome? Well, I suppose
Who's on stage with you at this point?
my handmaiden and the surrounding chorus that comes in at the end, but
Yeah,
Belinda.
well, they schlep on later probably, but at this particular moment, who's with you?
Belinda,
Belinda. And Belinda's your handmaiden, but who is Belinda really to you? She is,
a sister.
yeah,
Okay.
she's your closest friend and confidant. So Belinda, in a way, is somewhat of the obstacle because she will remember you for your death, not for your life.
Right.
And she is the one who's going to carry the message after you die. She's the one who's going to let everybody know who's going to talk about you.
Yeah.
And you don't want to say, oh, well, Aeneas was such a jerk and he dumped her and she died. That's not what you want out there. What you want out there is, the good propaganda. Dido was my closest friend. She was the greatest queen. Carthage rose to its greatest heights under her. Of course, not long from now, it's going to get burned down. Of course, you won't be around for that. So this is big stuff. This is big stuff. Now, again, I would suggest you watched the work I did with Melanie before you, right? That recit is the foundation for the aria, but it is not the aria itself. This is a very lyrically written aria, there's no question, but intent and text are really important here. Okay, so let's try it again. Let's start again. Let's do it without the recording right now. Oh, good, that's better. That's better lighting. Yeah, good, thank you. Let's do that. Let's do this without the.
Okay, from the very beginning.
Yeah, just thy hand, Belinda.
Thy hand, Belinda, darkness.
Good. Again, this is the first time. This is the first time you have faced death. This is the first time that you have given up, as it were. There's an enormous realization here that you can't go on anymore. That's something you've thought about for days or weeks. I mean, Aeneas has just left and he's betrayed you and there's no reason to go on anymore, so, and it's so interesting because she doesn't die, by her own hand, doesn't drink poison. She doesn't do the things that opera heroines do. She just gives it up. And by the way, the end of this piece is not about her death, your death. The end of this piece is about moving on to the next world. And that is not a depressing thought for Dido. That is a moment. The end is about release, not about, not about tears. But you got to get there. You got to work your way through all of this to the point where you can say goodbye to the world and move on, because you know that Belinda will do the job that she has to do so that your death has value.
Okay.
So talk to Belinda. You can move this along a little bit more. So recit.
Thy hand, Belinda, darkness shades me. On thy bosom let me rest. More I would, but death invades me. Death is now a welcome again.
Okay, so what's that last line again?
Death is now a welcome guest.
So what does that mean?
Means, all right, I'm here. Come get me. I'm ready to die now.
Yeah, you sing it like you're terrified of it.
Yeah, that would.
You got to be really careful. This can be it is a depressing aria, let's be honest, on certain levels, but it's really not. I mean, it's about this kind of, transmogrification that, great characters do to go on to the next sphere. You know, it's meant to be actually rather and enlivening, I guess. I mean, you know, it's not an aria about death. It's an aria about continuation. You know, and by the way, you haven't thought of any of this up to this point.
Right.
It's like you're saying this for all. It's all these thoughts are flooding in for the first time.
Right.
Try it again. Try it again.
Thy hand, Belinda, darkness shades me, on thy bosom let me rest, but I would, but death invades me, death.
Good. Take another beat before that last line. You have to have a moment of realization. Also, every line here is a different beat. Thy hand, Belinda, darkness shades me. What's the next line? Let me rest upon your breast, whatever it is.
Let me rest.
Right, on your bosom, let me rest. That's another beat. More I would is another beat. And then death is, it's the arc of this is not that way. The arc of this is this way. You know what I mean? It takes you up for the aria. It takes you up for that wonderful introduction where Purcell introduces what PDQ Bach used to call the ground round. I love that phrase. You know, the canonic bass there, you know, that goes, you know, repeats through the whole aria. It's so brilliantly written because it's relentless at, you know, that basso line is relentless through it. But you can never give in. One more time from the beginning of the rest of it.
Thy hand, Belinda, darkness shades me, on thy bosom let me rest, but I would, but death invades me.
See it right in front of you.
Death is now a welcome guest.
Okay, much better. Much better. I think you can go even further with all of this. You know, again, keep it about ideas and text. You have plenty of time to show your legato line and the aria coming up.
Okay.
You have more freedom. It's a recit. It's a accompagnato recit, right? I'm trying to remember. No, it's not accompagnato. It's secco. I mean, I think it's just harpsichord and cello, whatever. It's continuo, right? Yeah, it's not like a little later on in Mozart. Okay. Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on the clock. Let's try it one more time and get in the aria. Do it if you want to do it with the accompaniment. I think you're going to want to pull against the accompaniment again. You know, you're going to want to go a little faster, which is okay. Yeah, that's okay. But let's do it and let's get into the aria.
Is it so like it doesn't matter?
No. I think let's do it with the accompaniment.
Okay.
Now the other thing, think about Lizzie. How do you get from "Death is now a welcome guest" to "When I am laying in earth"? How do you get there through that introduction?
Yeah.
And my suggestion is that you keep growing through it. In other words, do not do this recit and end. Do not say, "Death is now a welcome guest. Okay, now I have 8 measures to breathe before I have to sing now I'll sing my aria." You're not allowed to do that. You have to then welcome guest. And then you hear that ba-dum, 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 ba-dee-da. You know, it carries you to, you know, and by that point, Belinda disappears. And you are now dealing with your future, your heritage, your life in front of you.
Okay. Oh, that's from the very beginning.
Yep.
I have to find it.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Okay. Wait, okay. There we go.
You need her. You need Belinda.
When I am late.
Good. I wanted you to go back to the beginning of the rest. Sorry, I thought we'd do the rest again.
Oh, right, okay. Bap, 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 bap.
Yeah.
Thy hand, Belinda, darkness shades me. On thy bosom let me rest. More I would, but death invades me. Death is now. Welcome again.
Now, don't lose your energy. Don't lose your energy. Keep going. Keep looking. Don't lose your energy.
When I am laid in earth, may my wrongs create no trouble in thy breast.
Maybe she didn't hear you the first time. She didn't get the message yet.
When I am laid in earth, may my wrongs create no trouble in thy breast.
She didn't hear you yet.
Remember me.
Tell her. Tell her.
Remember me. But forget my fate. Remember me. But forget my fate.
She may not have understood you yet.
Remember me, but forget my fate. Remember me, but forget my fate.
Okay, good. Stop. Remember me. What's that note up there?
E.
Okay, sing a nice G for me right now. Sing a G. Nah, that's kind of a G. Sing me a G. I want to hear a G.
See about that?
Take a breath and sing a G. You got a G. Bet you got an A.
Huh?
I bet you have an A. Don't you have an A?
Yeah.
Okay, so G is lower than an A.
Yeah.
Okay. Even bigger. Take a big breath and give me the arms out and sing a G. Okay. Well, no, but look at your body language. Your body language is like this. as opposed to like loud. Come on, reach out, sing a G. Well, let me tell you a little secret. Don't reach to your sides because that's where your energy then goes and your breath goes. Reach forward. Forward. Come on. Now, reach forward and sing a G. Okay, thank you. Now sing Remember Me. Remember Me.
With the arms or?
Absolutely with the arms. No, stay on. Stay on it longer. Why are you afraid of that G?
It's on my passaggio, so G's are actually quite a problem note for me.
Okay, so stop thinking about that for God's sakes. Why are you thinking about your passaggio? Dido is dying. She's not thinking about her passaggio. She's thinking about her passaggio into the next world. This is Lizzie's objective and obstacle. Has nothing to do with Dido. And the worst thing you can do as a singer is bring all that baggage into the character because it's not the character's problem. Dido's got big enough problems as it is without worrying about your passaggio.
I mean, I guess it's her problem. She's like, sounds like she's actually, like she is dying, but she doesn't want to sound
Your
like.
G does not sound like you're dying. Stop that. Not for a second. Come on, one more time. Remember me and reach forward as you sing. Take a deep breath and sing it. Make sure that Belinda hears that G, because that's the last thing you're going to say to her.
You have a point. You do have a point. Okay.
Thank you. I'd also suggest that there's a breath before the phrase. Remember me. But take a breath.
Okay.
That way you give all that breath to the G. Don't worry about what's next after it. Get out of your way, Lizzie. Get out of your way.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
You're doing great. You're doing very, very well.
Yeah.
One more time.
See, that's what happens. That's what happens, but it's okay.
Okay, good. Well, next time you work with your, who are you coaching this with? Who's coaching this with you?
I've done this before, but I hated it because of the G and like all the areas that are in like a sort of problem zone for me. So I wanted.
All right. Well, do me a favor. Leave some of those suitcases out of the room while you're singing this, okay? The luggage full of the worry about the G and the passaggio and blah 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 blah. Leave that out. You've got a G. You've got a G. Get behind it. Sing it full. The problem is you're hesitating, so you're not. I mean, this is a vocal. I mean, and by the way, you do not want to take voice lessons from me. Trust me, you would sound like me if you took voice lessons from me. Not a good thing. But I know enough of it. Get out of your way. You've got the G there. Support it. Sing it full out because it's the big moment in the aria. And work with somebody to remind you to take a breath after you come off of it. Don't try in trying to align it to the next word. That's also getting in the way of your breath. Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Danielle, Kerry.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's when you're performing, when you're doing a lot of things in life, we're in fight or flight mode, and you cannot be in flight mode when you're performing. You have to be fight, and you just, if you're going to go big and splat, go big and splat. If we do it carefully, it's definitely going to splat.
Right.
I love that. That's actually, yeah, Kerry.
I had a teacher in college tell me a lot better singers than you have cracked in a lot worse positions than this.
Exactly. And we have been in the opera house when that happens,
Yeah. If you crack, you crack.
Yeah.
But
and there's 5% of the audience that will hold that against you for the rest of your life. And the other people will leave the theater and forget about it completely.
Yeah.
I have learned over the years, audiences are far more forgiving than singers think they are. And I've heard, it's a long story I won't go into, but remember directing a production where I had a tenor who was in terrible distress. And by the time he got to the third act, it was Tosca to sing Il Luceva alla Stella. He had no voice left. So he marked it. He sang it down an octave. And at the end, he got more applause than Pavarotti ever got for the aria from the audience. And everybody came over to me afterwards, because I was the producer at the time, this is years and years ago, to tell me, oh my God, when that tenor sang that aria that Luciano Pavarotti sings, they weren't even listening to him. They heard Pavarotti in their head, you know? So audiences are forgiving. Don't worry about that. You know, you got the G. There's a lovely voice. And you're young, you're a junior. Are you 20? How old are you now? You're 20. Oh my God. Okay, terrific, terrific. Lovely. Good work. Good work, Lizzie.
So Jay, I do have one question for you, and just using Lizzie's aria as an example, something that helps me a lot is to really paint the picture, have the image in my head of the, set the scene. And we've been encouraging our students this week with the art songs especially, which is a little more difficult with art songs, because you really have to create a character, you have to create this whole world. With an opera, it's a little easier. In this aria, we're in Carthage, a coastal city in North Africa. So we know what the weather is like, and it's a stage work, of course. So there's there's already an image there, but it helps me to think of the weather, like what and the wind, the breeze, all these things, but really paint this kind of a picture in my head.
Sure, absolutely.
What are your thoughts on that? And
no, I think it is. I think, frankly, by this point in the opera, that's probably not. I mean, it's more information than I think the character has to deal with, because they've had the opera to do that. That's the other thing. We do arias out of context,
Right.
So we don't have the 45 minutes of opera. I mean, Dido was on stage pretty much for the whole opera, I think. And so there's a lot of information, and the opening chorus and things that set up where we are and that we're in Carthage, and all, the witches doing their thing. That all, lays the groundwork. By the time I think you get to this aria, one hopes that the performer has done their homework. One of my biggest distresses when I work with singers sometimes is to find out that they have never dealt with the rest of the opera. I can remember some years ago working with a tenor on Addio Fiorito Asile, the tenor aria from Madame Butterfly in the third act. And I started asking, and he hadn't clue clearly when he was singing it. And I said, well, can you tell me about, what's going on? Well, he really didn't know what had happened. He hadn't looked it up. All he had done was study the aria. Oh my God, I wanted to strangle him. And by the way, this was at Chautauqua. It was not one of my singers, a singer from another program up there. And we had just done Madame Butterfly the week before, which he didn't bother to go see. That kind of stuff makes me crazy, because you have to see things. I think there are I know there are videos of Dido and Aeneas out there. And if you can get hold of it, listen to the recording with Janet Baker, which is the one I grew up with. I mean, it is the most stunning singing. The whole recording is quite wonderful. I think it's still floating around out there, maybe out of print now. But I think any singer, you have to learn context, and these were what I talked about yesterday, last week, the conditioning factors. Where are we? Like you said, what's the weather like? What's the architecture like around me? Is it the ancient times? Is it, New York City, 1976? All those things are going to affect how you approach the work. Absolutely. And then you have the crazy directors that come along, and they take the thing that is set in ancient Rome and they move it to the subway in Manhattan in 1976. And you have to suddenly deal with Dido and it's sitting on a subway bench surrounded by, garbage and rats, singing, When I Am Laying in Earth, as the trains, go by. You've been in Germany, it's happening. We see these things. So all of those are definitely going to affect how you perform. Absolutely, absolutely. Do your homework. Absolutely. Yeah. So good. Okay. So let me see. So now we have Tiffany Yee. Hi, Tiffany.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So and you are going to sing. You're doing Schubert, right?
Yes, Du bist die Ruhe.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, and where are you, by the way? Oops, sorry. You're also in Virginia.
Yes, Fairfax.
Where?
Fairfax.
Fairfax. Okay. You have a nice representation of Virginia. It's one of all the major cities. Good. Good, good. How'd you do, Tiffany? Mezza mezza? Really? I think you did better than that. How old are you, honey?
18.
18. Okay, so you're a senior. Are you in high school? So you're just finishing high school?
I
Or?
just graduated high school. Yeah.
Okay, good for
I
you.
turned 18 in June, so.
Uh-huh. And where are you going in the fall?
I'm taking a gap year this year.
Good. Probably right now, probably a good idea.
Well,
Yeah.
I had auditioned for piano before as a piano major,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't really like it, so I decided to change majors and take a gap year this year.
Okay, good, good. Okay, great, great, great. All right. So, this is, kind of like Dido. This is a tricky piece because it's all these long lines, very exposed. So again, given some of the questions that I've been asking, I'm sure you've thought about them too. What do you think? What do you think your objective is in this song?
In my opinion, is I just want my lover, I guess, to come to me, to be near
Okay.
me, and I'm singing praises to that person. So
You what?
I'm singing praises basically to that person. I would say.
Yes. Uh-huh. Okay. And what's the obstacle to that? Well, where's the person you love?
Not here.
Not there. Can you turn your mic up just a little bit? I'm going to get a little more sound.
Let's see. Sorry, give me a second.
No, that's okay. Having a little trouble.
Better?
Yeah, there you go. Much better. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that because the music was a little hard to hear as well.
Oh,
Good.
okay.
All right. So anyway, so where is the person you love?
Not here.
Not here. Okay. So if he's not there and you want him to know how important he is to you, how are you going to make that happen? What's your action?
I guess to call him to me and to tell him to call him to me,
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot of this in opera. There are a lot of people talking to people who aren't there with them. It makes for good arias. So you get to speak out, to call across the heavens, as it were, hoping that he will hear. I mean, one of my favorite arias is the Hymn to the Moon from Rusalka, where Rusalka talks to the moon to tell the prince that she's in love with, please let him know, moon, would you send him a message for him? Here it's more direct. You're trying to send this to him. Do you think he gets the message by the end?
I feel like I would hope so. I feel like I'm hopeful at the end in a way.
Okay, I'm going to suggest to you, no, you don't.
Okay.
You don't know whether he gets it or not.
Okay.
Okay. So in other words, as this piece progresses, because you sing 3+ verses, right? 3 verses plus, I think, almost like a coda at the end, right? I mean, do I have the structure pretty well? So I would suggest that every time you start another verse, that you realize I don't think he heard me. The other thing too is, why do you seek peace? You say, du bist die Ruhe. Why do you seek that? Why do you want peace? Well, if you want peace, that would imply what?
Peace and content, I would say.
Say that again?
Content.
No, but if you want peace, why would you want peace in your life or contentment in your life? What would that imply about your life?
You're happy.
No, I think it implies that you're not content and you're not peaceful.
Oh, you mean before you get it? Yeah.
Right, exactly. So the fact is, I would suggest that that you, Tiffany, the person who sings this song, are desperate for resolution, desperate for peace, desperate for contentment in your life because you don't have it. Without him, without the person you love, you don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would suggest probably at 18 you have fallen in love. Perhaps you don't have to tell me. I don't want any details. Okay, but you've had that feeling, yeah. So tell I you know what it's like to perhaps to love somebody or fall in love or be attracted to somebody and then not get any response back, not to know whether that person has the same feelings about you, right? Can imagine. Okay, that's it. So I would suggest again that this is not a piece of music, Piece, about peace, Peace. This is a piece about that you are somebody who desperately needs to find this, and the only person who can give that to you is the object of your affection, who's not there to give it to you.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, the tempo for this is what?
Slow, the long song.
Is that what your music says? Slow, long
Yeah.
song?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they sent me. I don't have art songs with me up where I am right now. So so they sent me a copy which says larghetto, which is slow, but it's not largo.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Now I know your accompaniment is tape, so you have that speed. So we're going to work without the tape for a little while.
Okay.
And see what happens. You know, because I think you need a little more freedom. And you know, Kerry said before. Now that he's back, Kerry said before that it's harder to do art songs because you don't have all of the opera information. You know, this would probably be for the character like her Act 2 aria in the opera. You know, we've had Act 1 to see her with the guy with the tenor, and now he's left her, and you know the terrible uncle has arrived at the castle, and she sings "Dupi Stirua, please come back and rescue me from the terrible uncle," or whatever the plot is. But we don't have that in the song. You know. Now, remind me, this is part of a cycle. Is this part of a cycle? No, it's kind of on its own. Okay, again, you know, art song is, you know, opera's my thing. Art song, you know, I have to do my research.
A totally relevant question, because it could make a complete difference if it was a larger. Then there would be characters and there would be context. But yeah, it is from a collection, but not part.
It's not related to the song before or after. Okay, good. That's helpful. So you have the great joy of creating your own scenario. You know, you have to go to those conditioning factors that's on the sheet that I sent you. And when is this happening? And where is this happening? And where are you when it happened? And what has happened before? I think art songs are such a joy. One of the things we were at Chautauqua, one of the things that we implemented when I got there was a weekly recital for the young artists. So every week, 1, 2, or sometimes 3 young artists would do a recital together. And I loved it because it introduced me to a lot of material that I kind of vaguely knew, but I didn't know, you know, wasn't what I spent my time listening to. And I thought, how lucky, because an actor can't really go out unless you are, you know, I don't know, Patti LuPone, or, you know, unless you're a major star, you can't go out and put together an hour-and-a-half evening of just you. Most people won't buy a ticket to it.
Yeah.
But singers can put together an evening of your experience through these incredible songs, and there's an audience still for that. Not as big as we'd like it to be, but they're out there. People love this material. And you get to create it all on your own. Okay. So I need you to think about your own experience, as it were. What it's like perhaps to be in love with somebody who's not there, who doesn't perhaps even return that feeling. And remember how unsettling that is.
Okay.
And that's where you start this song. Now, I know the accompaniment is kind of gentle, but that's, I would say the subtext under it is not so gentle.
Okay.
You know, because if you start like, well, I know you're my piece, and I know I'm going to get it by the end of the song. My piece will be there. Then you don't have to sing the aria. You don't have to sing the song.
Yeah.
Already solved your problem. before you even started. But you have 3 verses and a coda to see if maybe he will come back and help you resolve whatever the issues are that you're going through right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay. So
Can you do all that?
I will try. From the beginning? From the beginning?
Yeah. But I'd like you to do it without the accompaniment.
Okay.
There you go. Now, you just settled in. You've solved your problem. You're very peaceful. So again, I don't know why you're singing about you want peace, because you're not thinking, well, she's got plenty of peace. Why does she have to sing about wanting peace in her life? Why do you want, why do you want quiet and peace in your life? Okay. The other thing I want from you is I want you to use the text. You've got what I call lazy lips. I want to be still. What's the next phrase? I can't read. I've got my glasses on. Oh yeah, die Friede mild, right? Du bist die Ruhe, die Friede mild. I want to see those lips moving. Okay. Go a little more larghetto, not so largo. A little more. Use the words. More. Okay, good. It's already better. Okay. I think it's got more energy, but you're still kind of pulling away from this rather than going to the problem.
Okay.
You want to settle in. You want to be Ruah from the beginning. I can just see you want to go, I want everything to get out of my way so I can sing this really pretty with a nice legato line and make, my voice teacher and my coach and my mother happy. Okay? Okay. They are not there. You, Tiffany, are all alone in your room looking out the window because that mean uncle is outside causing problems, and you're hoping maybe on the horizon you will see this handsome tenor on a horse arrive to save you and take you away. Okay? Have I created enough of a scenario for you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I have to get out of here. I need peace. Not, I've got peace.
Okay.
Okay. Don't die out at the end of the first verse. You say it twice. I'm telling you, in opera and in art songs, if you have to repeat a phrase or a set of words, every time has to be more than the last time, not less.
Okay.
So give me da 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 dee da dee da. Now the other thing, be careful. Don't end the art. Don't end the art song.
Okay.
You know, you go ba da dee da 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 ba da da. Okay, thank God I'm done with the first verse. I could take a breath and relax while the pianist plays 4 measures before I have to sing again.
Mhm.
That was your subtext, I think.
Okay. Okay.
That's the subtext I'm getting, but it's not. It's like da da dee da 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 ba da ba ba bee ba. Is he listening? Did he hear me? Is he coming on that white horse? He's not. Oh, ya da da dee da dee da. Then you have to sing that next verse. You have to speak to him again. So every time you sing a section of this, every strophe of this, every verse is more than the last time
Okay.
because you're not getting over your obstacle.
Yes.
The obstacle gets bigger and bigger because he doesn't appear to rescue you.
Okay. From.
Let's go to the second verse.
Okay.
Keep moving. Words. That's it. Okay, good. Now, that's much better. And I want you to notice something very important about your physicality. The first time you sang this, you were neutral for the whole thing.
Mhm.
Now I'm getting suddenly this. Something's happening,
Yes.
you know? And you might even want to reach out to, I love this on the screen. That's what my intention. But you might even try to reach out for him. Each verse should be more trying to get him to come to you,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so each verse has to get stronger, and then when you get to that coda, it's very needy, and I would suggest that at the end you don't have what you want. You are more desperate than when you start,
Okay.
because then you have an arc that goes like that. You have a line of progression that goes up and energy, as opposed to thank God it's over.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, all right. I'm going to move on. I wish I had a little more time, but I think
Okay.
you have things to work with now, right?
Yes.
Danielle and Kerry.
Yes, yeah, all of this is, and Tiffany is considering this as part of an audition piece for college. So I think,
Sure.
there's beautiful singing, but then there's performing and there's having something to say that isn't just beautiful singing. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's great, and it's coming alive, Tiffany, and it's going to continue to do that as you play more with the text and communicating. And yeah, I mean, the second verse is stronger. You're like, he clearly didn't hear you. You're like, come in, come through the door.
Darn tenors, they never listen, you know.
Yes.
I had a brilliant thought, which has just completely slipped out of my head now. Anyway, bravo, good work. Oh, I know what I want to say. When you start using the words more and you use your lips more, your mouth opens.
Mhm.
And you know what happens to your resonance when you open your mouth more?
Better.
What happens to the tone and the sound? If you're singing like this all the time, and again, Danielle, please shoot me if I'm being inappropriate here, because I'm not a voice teacher, but I've been listening to singers for a long time. And if you're singing like this, the sound is like that. And if you're do bis, di ru, the more you open up and use the lips, suddenly you give yourself all that resonance to play with too. Yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
It's Tiffany, you weren't thinking like, I need to be more resonant. I'm gonna make more sound. Like, no, you were just committed more to the text and poof, it just came out. So many of those nitty-gritty things that we work on, the foundational things, happen naturally when you're committed to the text.
Yes. Mhm.
Great. Thank you, Tiffany. Thanks
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Hope I'll get to meet you in person someday.
I hope so.
Okay. And our last singer is Grace Mead. Hi there, Grace. How are you today? You need to turn your mic on, I think. Oh, no, sorry.
Correct. Hello.
You're in the same place. Oh, I see Grace and Lizzie. Now it makes sense. You're in this, your roommates or whatever. There you go. Great. Okay. Hi. Easy transition. Same set. Low. This saves the budget on the opera. They could use the same set for a little Schubert and then a little, a little La Boheme. Perfect. So tell me, so you're obviously in the same place. You said was it Fairfax? You said, good.
Yeah, this is JMU right now.
Okay, good. All right. So tell us what you're going to sing and tell us just a little bit about it.
So I'm singing Mi chiamano Mimi from Puccini's La Boheme. This is from the first act of the opera, where Mimi, the character I'll be portraying, she introduces herself to her neighbor, Rodolfo, and they find themselves alone together and they establish this love connection, and it develops throughout the opera.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Go for it.
Oh, my laptop shut off. All right, there we go. Sorry, loading.
Do you by any chance have a little more light in the middle of the room where you are? Just
How about this?
try it. No, it doesn't really help. No, it's okay. Turn that off. It's too much backlight. No, it's okay.
Maybe try doing the guy.
It was much darker this morning.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the sound is not working. There we go.
Yeah, very nicely done. Now you are you're just finishing your junior year?
I'm going into my junior year.
You're going into your junior year. How old are you?
I turned 20 a week ago.
Okay, great. Wow. Okay, well, very nicely done for someone who's of your age, and yeah, that's nice. Just take it easy on this repertory. You're still young, but don't immediately switch over to Turandot or anything like that. Okay, don't get too excited about Puccini. Okay, but no, it's lovely for you.
I second that. I'm seconding that. So we told the participants for the master classes to bring repertoire that they were already working on. So this, none of this is like festival rep. But yeah, Grace, you sing this beautifully, but whoa, Nelly, you have a lot of time to get into Puccini.
Yeah, first and only Puccini aria I've sung, so.
Well, I'd say, the next thing is O mio babbino caro. If you want to sing Puccini, stick with the ingenues, the thing also, remember, again, so much has to do with context. When you come into an audition and you bring a piece like this, whatever age you are, my supposition is you're saying to me, I can do the whole opera.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, many people, like you just said, can sing the aria because they don't have, we now have to go into Act 2 where there's an enormous ensemble where you have to be able to sail out over that ensemble, try to compete with Musetta. Then you have the third act, which is very dramatic singing for the soprano, all the scene, getting into the big quartet. I mean, that's kind of heavy stuff. And then you get into the fourth act where you have to die for quite a long time. You have to sing kind of recumbent on a divan. You have to emote a lot. It's very emotionally draining, and it's not the easiest singing to do either. So I wouldn't ever expect somebody at your age to do that. So, but I think this is a good piece to work on for you, and you will come back to this, no doubt, later on. Good. So let's talk about Mimi a little bit. Have you ever met him before? Have you met Rodolfo before?
I just met him asking for a light.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that old excuse. Let's talk about that candle. Okay. This is 1830s in Paris, where they don't have electricity. They don't even necessarily have gas light in the hallways. So the only way you can get up and down in the middle of the night is you better have a candle that works. Otherwise, you're going to kill yourself. So trust me, she walks up that staircase with a lit candle and blows it out before she knocks on the door. Okay, which is a much different scenario than I innocently knocking on the door with the candle. Oh, my silly little me, can you help me?
Yeah.
Now, I think I mentioned this even last week. Puccini and his librettists are quite brilliant. She is more recently, we assume, moved into this little apartment house. She's on a floor below, perhaps, and she knows there are 4 guys up there. She's been peeking at them out the courtyard window, her window, seeing guys coming and going. Clearly has decided which one she thinks is the cutest of the bunch, right? And also Puccini has a little scene right before this where the men are yelling up and down the steps. So you got Rodolfo's at the top of the steps, but Chenard and Marcello and
Colline.
Thank you. Just blanked down his name. You think I know that after 75 years. Anyway, Colline are at the bottom of the steps. So she knows that 3 out of the 4 guys have left the apartment. Okay. Now, the next thing is, what day is this? What night is this?
Oh, I don't know.
What is the most wonderful or most depressing night of the year?
Is it New Year's?
Okay, that's second guess. What would be your first guess? What holiday? It's near New Year's. You're getting close.
Christmas?
Yes. Okay.
Nice assist, Lizzie. Thank you.
What did you say? A nice what? Lizzie's curing you. That's what friends are for. Okay. Yeah. Oh, somebody sent out a comment. Boxing Day is the best. Thank you. By the way, that happens to be my birthday. My birthday is the day after Christmas, so Boxing Day is very important to me. However, let's be honest. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day are huge. And by the way, I'm a nice Jewish boy, and I still think Christmas is kind of fun and important. So if God forbid, have you ever been alone on Christmas Eve?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so you've always been surrounded by family and friends. That's the tradition. Having worked in this business, I have actually been in a hotel room on Christmas Eve by myself, and Christmas Day, maybe I got invited to somebody's house, but kind of waiting to get back to rehearsal the day after Christmas. And it's no fun, you know. I mean, as I said, it's not for me a religious holiday, but certainly is a holiday that I celebrate with my friends, my Christian friends, all the time, and I love it. It's great fun, you know. So now it's Christmas Eve. Here's this woman who's just moved into this neighborhood. It's freezing cold, by the way, in these apartments. They don't have much in the way of heat. She's, you know, furiously trying to do some embroidery to make some more money by candlelight. And now she realizes that that guy is alone upstairs. And all the rest of them, by the way, are going to Momus. They are going to the big nightclub in town. Okay. So what does it take for you, this young girl, to get the courage to go up to the top of those steps, blow out your candle and knock on the door and talk to somebody you've never met before? Could you do that? Could Grace do that?
Probably, well, probably not. I'd have to be really lonely to do that.
Exactly. And by the way, it's easier now because we're in 2020, where women have far more right to do whatever they please, frankly. You know, 1830, there were a lot more rules. And a young girl knocking on the door of a young man could be seen as being loose, as being, you know what I mean, not quite above board, as it were. Mm-hmm. So it takes an awful lot to overcome your loneliness. You know, objective, not to be lonely, or objective, Christmas Eve, obstacle, loneliness. How do I overcome that? And so you get up and you knock on the door. Okay, so all the incidents happen leading up to the aria. You drop the key on purpose to give yourself a reason to come back into the room looking for it. You know, the candle gets blown out again, all of that, right? No, sorry, I'm wrong. The candle, the dropping the key is later. The candle goes out, right? You get to the door, walk out, you think, oh my God, I don't want to go down those stairs again by myself. Blow the candle out again. You know, like my candle has gone out. So he has to bring you back in. And during that moment, you know, you end up fainting and dropping the key. Maybe it's a real faint, maybe it's not. We don't know. There's a lot going on here, you know. Now, objective of the aria. What do you want in this aria?
Love and connection.
Oh, see, they're all cheating. They all say love. See, I gave them the secret. Okay. Yes, but I would say that, by the way, that's an overall, that's the overall objective of any character, okay? But at this moment, what do you want?
I guess to meet Rodolfo and get to know him, tell him about myself, I guess.
Okay, it's a lot of things there. I would say telling yourself maybe more about the action, but in one word, what could you think of a word, a verb at this point? Or even a noun that's about what you want at this
point. A verb?
A verb or a noun.
Oh.
What do you want? What do you want with him? What do you want?
I mean, it's more than one word. I want to get to know him.
Okay. The one word I'm thinking of is connection.
Okay.
I want to connect with him. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because I try to always, with these objectives and obstacles, think of like literally a word that you can write in your score, maybe two. And by the way, singers, these things have to be written in your score at the beginning of the top of the page of the first page of that aria. So every time you open it, when you're looking at the key signature and you're looking at the schwas and all the stuff that your voice teachers and the breath marks and all that other stuff that you scribble in your scores, you also look and see connect. What's the obstacle to connecting with Rodolfo?
Shy, loneliness.
Yes, clear. Your hesitancy clearly is one, but also you don't know anything about him. Mm-hmm. You know. And by the way, remember, please, the sopranos, always remember, they are tenors. It's a whole other world, you know. So, but the fact is that you want to connect with somebody you don't know. You want him to like you. And you know, I always say there's that famous moment when you say "Le m'intende," and he could go "No," and then you have to leave. You know, I'm waiting for that performance, you know, where the tenor just, for whatever reason, doesn't like the soprano, says, no, short first act, curtain comes in, we all go home. Very short poem, right? I mean, he may say, no, I don't understand you and I'm not interested. I mean, really, you don't know that he's going to say, yes, continue. You don't know that. You don't know anything in this moment. So connect. He is the obstacle. How are you going to overcome that obstacle?
By gradually opening up to him more throughout the aria.
Well, gradually opening up, again, I think that's a result as opposed to an action. What are you doing in this aria?
Well, she starts out very apprehensive.
I start out. You're describing exterior stuff. How do you overcome your obstacle? What are you doing in the aria? Very basically, what is the aria about?
I'm telling him about myself.
Thank you. That's simple. It's not complicated stuff. It's opera. Come on. You know, it's just not that complicated. You know, you get into the 20th century, opera gets really complicated. You know, we get into all these psychological, you know, then suddenly we have, you know, Lulu, for God's sakes. Good luck with explaining that, working your way through that. But here's you know, here all you're doing, just tell them about yourself. Okay. Now, what's the structure of this aria?
I think it's through composed.
It is, because it's Puccini, but it actually is recitative and aria.
Okay.
Whole first part of this is a Puccini recit, so it's not with a harpsichord and a cello. He does it with, you know, with what he does with the full orchestra. You know, but by the way, the orchestration is very leggero all through this at the beginning. You know, where do you think the aria might start itself?
The mi piacciono quelle cose, that part.
No, not yet.
The ma quando vien los, that part.
Suddenly, it's Puccini. Harp starts playing. The whole orchestra goes nuts. You know, so you know, okay, well, now the aria starts. That's pretty far into the piece.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's about halfway in.
Yeah.
Before we get to Quando Vien los Gelo. You know, I mean, it's an amazing, amazing moment. I have to tell you, I've listened to Bohème. I've directed so many times. Oh my God, I just never get tired of it. It's just extraordinary piece, you know? And by the way, I do want to recommend, if you can find the recording from the 50s with Jussi Björling and Vittorio de Los Angeles, it is the definitive Bohème. I don't think there's ever been one better. There may be better known names of now perhaps who have recorded. Of course, it's been recorded a million times, but there's something so it's so perfect, that recording. I mean, it's still, but I think it only came out in mono, so you know nobody remembers it. But it is floating around, and it's just an amazing recording. It's just so fresh and lively. They recorded it in like 2 days. They kind of threw the cast together, and all of a sudden, like Thomas Beecham conducting it, it's like brilliant. Every moment of it is just absolutely right. So I recommend that recording. Okay, so the aria starts. So let's deal with that recit. Okay, what's the difference between the recit and the aria, do you think? What's the emphasis? What's the difference? What have I been looking for in recit?
I think, well, recit, I'm speaking more. I'm just giving facts mostly. And in the aria, I'm speaking more from the heart.
Perhaps. The recit is text-driven. Now, where is he sitting in the room? In your room right now, where is he sitting? Put him somewhere. He's got to be in the room with you somewhere.
He's in a chair.
Yeah, but where? Show me where. Where is he? I see somebody waving. I guess Lizzie, do you mind being a tenor for a while?
Yes. Right now.
What?
You can.
But very seriously, you need to have him somewhere. You can, playing to Lizzie may not work for you, so maybe you put him to your right there. You know, look to your right a little bit. Look to your right. Okay, that's where he is. I don't know what you're looking at because I can't see that.
A shoe rack.
A shoe rack. Okay, well, you know, I could make comments comparing tenors to shoe racks, but I am not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. All right. So they're put in there, okay? So there's the moments when you speak to him, and maybe the moments when you don't speak directly to him. Okay. All right. Let's start from the beginning again.
Okay.
I just saw your comment. Thank you. Danielle and Kerry are typing in comments.
Okay.
Don't try to be a little closer to us. Honey. Come a little closer. Yeah, about there.
I just don't want to blow out the volume.
No, volume's fine. Let's do this a little bit without the music. I think it'll give you a little more freedom. Okay. You don't know, remember, Grace, you don't know what you're going to say until you say it. Right now, you're connecting all your ideas. It's all kind of one thing. Okay. So he says, okay, tell me about yourself. And you say, sing to him. Use the words.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Solo mi fai il pranzo da me stessa, non vado sempre a messa, ma il prego assai.
It's very pretty. I mean, you really do sing this very nicely. But it's not text driven right now. It's not about the word. I don't get the feeling that you're kind of trying to find the next thing to say. So you say, ma prego assai il Signor. That's a response to what you just said before. I don't go to church a lot. No, but I do. But I am religious. I do pray. I have my Bible. You know. And there's going to be another one of those coming up in a moment when you say, oh, by the way, I live alone. Let me keep going on here. You know what I mean? These are all little moments. You can't run it all together. The arc is not like this. This is a recit, so it's all a lot of different separate beats, separate ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And try to find. It's not mi chiamano Mimi. It's mi chiamano. They call me Mimi. Mi chiamano. It's so kind of diminutive in a way. It's like, they call me. My name is Lucia, but they call me Mimi. It's all tiny and shy, and I want to tell you more, but it's scaring the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Okay. You ever been on a first date?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, I mean, let's say with somebody you like, as opposed to the blind date, like, oh my God, what am I doing here? I got to get out of here. But, the one that you really do connect with and you want to tell them about you, but you might, they might laugh at you. They might not be interested.
Mm-hmm. Right. From the recit?
Chiamano Mimi. Use the words. Now, very important thing here. The music changes completely at this moment. Mm-hmm. Suddenly, the music completely changes. Why does it change? What makes your next idea different than everything up to that point?
It's more playful. I'm getting more comfortable.
Okay, fine. Let me see that. What is it? Non so. Ma il perché non so. Give me that. Ma il perché non so.
Perché non so. Solo mi fai il pranzo da me stessa, non vado sempre a messa.
See how you connect that? You're connecting that. Non vado sempre a messa, ma prego assai Signor. They're not connected.
So
the ideas that's two totally different ideas. Mm-hmm. Why do you say, oh, but I do pray to God? Why do you say that?
I guess assuring him. Well, she says she doesn't go to church, and then she says, "But wait, I actually."
Okay. See what you just did. See what you just did. But wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Opera's like life, a lot more than people think.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Puccini.
Mm-hmm. From Il Perché.
Yeah.
perché non so, solo mi fai il pranzo di me stessa, non vado sempre a messa, ma
No, you made the change too soon.
Oh, okay.
Stesso non vado sempre a messa, ma prego assai il Signor.
Okay.
You think that I'm a godless soul here.
Yeah.
I may not go to church. Listen, this is 1830. If you didn't show up in church and every Sunday, you were a heretic.
Yeah.
No, really. I mean, that's it. Everybody went to church. The only people that didn't go to church were godless souls. You know, even prostitutes went to church, you know, hoping for salvation, whatever. One more time, same thing.
Perché non so,
Use the words.
solo mi fai il pranzo da me stessa, non vado sempre a messa, ma il prego assai.
It's a bigger moment than that. You're connecting it. You're making all this too easy. You're too relaxed with this guy. You know what? You already know what's going to happen at the end of this aria. You read the story, darn you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But did you read the fourth act? By the way, it doesn't end well. Okay. But you can't play that now. God knows, Act 1 is not about. I've seen those poems, by the way, where the Mimi comes in. It's like, I just want to let you all know I'm going to die in 3 acts. It's a very, very long evening.
Yeah.
Getting there, you know. All right. None of that's here. All you know at this moment is I got a guy in front of me that I really like, but I don't know.
Okay. All right. Perché non so, solo mi fai il pranzo da me stessa, non vado sempre a messa, ma il prego.
It's even bigger than that. You went, ma. It's bigger. It's not a pretty moment. Don't make that an aria.
Okay.
Just tell him I'm not a godless soul. Trust me.
Okay.
Cross yourself, whatever.
Okay.
One more time, same thing.
Perché non so, solo mi fai il pranzo da me stessa, non vado sempre a messa, ma il prego assai il Signor, vivo sola, I'm so sorry, this is Lizzie's problem.
I think it's the Met calling, by the way.
It is.
Okay. Wait, what is it? Yeah, that Viva Sola Soletto, you know, that is the test of every Mimi. How does she say that line? It's like in Tosca, when Tosca says, you know, after she kills Scarpia, she says, Avanti a lui, tremava tutta Roma. Everybody waits to see, how is this soprano going to do that line? And everybody waits for this moment. Do you say it to him? Do you say it away from him? Do you say it to yourself? Are you shy? Are you flirting with him? Are you telling him, let's get together later? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many ways, but make a choice.
Okay. From where?
Sol, mi fa, la vida, ba bum bum. Right from there.
Solo mi fai il pranzo da me stessa, non vado sempre a messa, ma il prego assai il Signor. Vivo sola, soletta, la luna
and then you got to cut yourself off, because then he goes back to that little melody, but he has a little apostrophe, a little paraphrase there. Viva sole soletta, I live alone. Oh, wait a minute, that just slipped out. Was that my inner voice? Was that my inner voice? Is that what, I didn't even know I said that. You have to throw it away, because otherwise you look like a hooker. Viva sole soletta, see you later, baby. You know what I mean? It's a whole, that's not the opera. Okay.
From Sola mi fo?
Yeah.
Solo mi fai il pranzo da me stessa, non vado sempre a messa, ma il prego assai il Signor. Vivo sola, soletta, la luna bianca cameretta, guardo sui tetti e
Nice. Now keep going. Just look up to the heaven and go. Up, Grace. That's it. Open. Keep going. Okay. Let me make a suggestion. This is not the moment to pull in here. It's not about il cuore at this moment. It's about il cielo.
Okay.
And I say reach for it.
Okay.
Ma quando viene. Let's start right there.
Ma quando viene lo cielo.
Feel the sunlight. Feel it.
Il primo sole mio.
Reach, reach, reach. Now you repeat that. Why do you repeat it? Il primo sole mio. Why do you repeat that?
I take it more to heart. I internalize it more.
I would suggest you've just exposed yourself to him. You let him look in too deep. You've gotten carried away and you suddenly realize he's staring at you. Of course, he's pretty transfixed by now, but you don't know that yet. You have to go back and check.
Yeah.
Il primo sole, the first il primo sole mio.
Okay. Il primo
primo sole. Yeah, il primo sole da di da hey. And we just stay up on that note a little bit more, give you a little more tenuto up there, show off that you're a soprano.
Okay.
He's looking at you. Look at him, look at him. Tell him. Talk to him. Word. Enjoy it. Smile. Now recitative.
Altro di me lo saprei ignorare. Sono la sua voce che la vien fuori d'ora importunare.
Okay, well, what do you think? What do you think? You what?
I think I got more into the character.
Yeah, you're having fun. You were there. Yeah, that's what it's about. And by the way, the aria went by like that, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a long aria.
Yeah.
Just if you're working your way through it. But now you've got a lot of things. Danielle and Kerry. Sound.
Sorry.
Got it. Sorry.
When you can put yourself in the room, when you can, imagine, not just imagine, but like see it, then it's just so much more real. And that's when the audience gets invited in to be with you, so that you're not just singing at your audition panel or at the audience, but we're all together in that space experiencing the same moment. And it's just so real watching you watch him. We imagine that he is right there, even though you're doing this out of context.
Mm-hmm.
If I say to singers, if you were doing an audition, certainly a piece like this, you have to put Rodolfo in the room with you.
Mhm.
You can't just sing it to the people that are there, because that's uninteresting. It's not what the aria is about. The aria is never about please like me and hire me.
Mhm.
That's your subtext perhaps, but that is not the subtext of the character, and it's only going to get in the way. Unless you're doing Adele's audition song, then it's appropriate.
I am doing that song.
Okay, well, then that's appropriate. Please like me, pay attention to me. Okay. But here it's about between you and him, and I think it's perfectly appropriate to make sure we know where he is, that you have somebody to talk to, so that the moments when you're looking at him, and then the moments when you go back in, il primo sole è mio, il primo sole è mio. That's a very personal moment. That's not for him. And then you kind of make you filler. I sit home and I do my needlepoint, but they don't have any odor. They're not real. No matter how good my artwork is, I can never make real flowers. I don't have that gift.
Mhm.
These are very emotional and deep and very personal moments for the character.
Yeah.
And if you share those with him, we're there. So
Mhm.
yeah, lots to work on, but don't work on this one too much. Work on some other repertoire. Take these ideas into some other repertoire. Okay. Good. Are there any questions out there, Carolyn? Or?
No, we haven't had any questions
Okay.
posed. This was so fascinating. I enjoyed the class last week. I really enjoyed this one because even as an instrumentalist, it gets my head spinning on how I can analyze the psyche and the music I'm playing. Did any of you, no pressure, but this is the last class of the festival. Did any of you have any closing thoughts or words you wish to express?
Thank you.
Oh, Grace, yay! Yeah, all our vocalists today performed incredibly.
Yeah, thank you, all of you. This isn't easy, especially because you don't know who was out there looking, whether it's 5 people or 500. But thank you, you all did such great work today, and this Zoom experience, of course, is a whole new world for all of us. But I think under the circumstances, all of you have just done great work. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep asking yourself the questions. You'll know when you're answering the questions right, because it'll be easier to sing. It's when you're making choices and you're finding it harder to sing, probably the choice isn't the right one.
That's excellent advice.
Yeah, I really think, Jay, I said this to you last week, but I really think getting that whole scene in the head and engaging all the senses, sight, sound, touch, smell, all of those things. What I'm learning from you and our other stage directors that we've had the privilege to work with is that when you do that, then the technique really does become secondary. And as Danielle said, it becomes it's in the background. It's, that's not the focus anymore.
Well, and one has to assume that singers, every singer I work with, I don't care how young, they have come to some level of vocal confidence. Mm-hmm. Now, maybe that you're younger and you still have a lot more to work towards. I would never feel comfortable working with a singer who just didn't know how to sing at all. You know what I mean? Because this would probably get in their way. But thank you also for giving me singers who all know how to sing. Everybody's different levels, different ages, different experience. But if you have just a basic vocal foundation that you can just depend on a little bit more than I think sometimes you think you can, then you can do all the things that we're talking about, and it will make it easier to sing. So anyway, thank you. It's been so much fun.
Thank you, Jay.
Yes.
It's just so all of you, it's going to be out there on YouTube. Watch it again. There will be things that you missed that you'll catch. So many details, but the research that you have to do on the character. We had a stage director come in and do a masterclass, and he said something that to me seems obvious, but I never heard anyone say it out loud. One of the most important things that you need to know is what just happened before you launched into your aria, and in the case with Rosina, that's her first thing. So nothing particularly happened to her in the moment, but you need to know that. You need to know her history and what sort of position she's in. But very frequently, these arias are a result of some major thing that just happened. So
context is everything. You cannot sing any of this art songs, no matter what it is. I don't care, a Broadway tune, whatever. None of that, without knowing the context, you can't make anything of it. So.
And if you don't have context, if it is a standalone thing, then make up your own context.
You get to do that. You get to use your imagination. Thank God.
Thank you so much, Jay.
Oh, my pleasure. This is fun.
Awesome.
Let's do more. Let's do more next week.
Yeah, we're not doing anything. So.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, all the singers. Just terrific.
And thank you, Carolyn, for everything you've done to make this seamless.
Oh, this is fun. Hey, this is the easiest I've ever had. I sit in a chair. Even when I'm directing, I don't sit in the chair. I'm up and down. Here I sit. Makes it easy. Have an iced tea. I'm in my home. Didn't have to travel. It's perfect. So.
Well, hopefully next summer we can all be together on that campus.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and we'd love to chat with you more, Jay, about maybe doing some acting classes. Is that something that?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Let's talk to Yehuda and maybe see if we can't make that happen, because the master classes are great, but I think we're all feeling like we'd love to just sit down with you and actually go through a process.
So often, and in academia, there literally are not opportunities provided in the major. I mean, singers really need to go outside and seek those out, and frequently it just doesn't happen in training. But you can still do it post college, But you are so wonderful. Your energy is amazing, and you're encouraging in how you
thank you.
Convince people to try things, to take chances.
Well,
We'll see if YouTube keeps us up this week.
I know Peter was in the room earlier, Peter Zazowski, and he expressed interest last week at your masterclass about doing something with instrumentalists. And
I would love it. I think that'd be great fun, actually. I'd love to do that.
Expressed interest here. So,
well, let's take this offline, and we'll chat with Yehuda and see if we can't.
But I do. I think this would pertain to more than singers. I think the instruments.
Absolutely.
As much, if not more.
It's called stagecraft for a reason.
Right.
Yeah. Anytime. Pleasure.
Yay.
Well, let's definitely stay in touch.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we can talk a little. Actually, I think we're still live, aren't we, Carolyn?
We are. Yeah.
Okay. So I can stay on for a few minutes after.
Okay. Is that okay, Carolyn?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Wonderful.
Thanks, ladies. Thank you, all of you. Bravo. Good work. What a pleasure.
Thank you to all our participants.
Thank you so much.
Attendees.
See, this COVID thing is not going to stop us from making art. Not going to stop us.
Nope.
Bye.
Amen to that. Well, thank you all so much again for joining us, and bravi again to all of our singers. And if you guys are should be interested, Close Encounters with Music is an all year long endeavor. There's a lot of concerts going on, and I'm just going to put the website for Close Encounters in the chat because this festival is a big summertime annual event, but they are doing things throughout the year. And thank you again to Danielle, Kerry, and Jay for this fabulous masterclass to close out the festival. And like I said, visit the Close Encounters website, the YouTube page, just to stay up to date on future endeavors. And let's take this experience with Zoom and all of the concert material we've made to continue the perseverance of music during quarantine, during COVID-19, to really make art still a blaze in the world, a blaze in culture, society. And let's keep pushing forward and use this to fuel the fire, so to speak. Thank you all so much for joining us again. And we're done with the festival, but not done with the music making.
Well, we went out with a bang.
Went out with a bang, exactly. So we hope to see each other again in person real soon. But for now, thank you for joining us virtually, and enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a good day, everybody.